This 18th century portrait shows society beauty Mrs Baldwin, who was actually born as Jane Maltass in 1763. Jane was born in Izmir, which is now modern-day Turkey, and this painting presents us with some interesting food for thought regarding cultural views of women and the exotic at this time in Britain. In her youth, Jane had married diplomat and merchant George Baldwin, and whilst travelling to Britain with him, she became somewhat of a celebrity, with her beauty being recognised by the likes of Joseph II, Holy Roman Emperor. And Jane's fan base continued to grow upon her arrival in London. Though her father was an English merchant and her mother also seems to have been British, Jane herself was regarded as a kind of exotic treasure by society. At times, she was even referred to as the Pretty Greek due to the high Grecian population of the region of Turkey she was born in. Did Jane lean into this in order to optimise her appeal and influence? It's a tricky one to answer, but it seems that Jane did exert some agency in affirming this perception of herself. It's recorded that she wore exotic-style clothing to a ball hosted by George III, and when she sat for Reynolds in 1782, which produced this painting, she's shown in this Eastern-style kind of dress. Surely she will have had a great deal of input in this portrayal. So, Jane may have used this unique image as a way to differentiate herself from other diplomatic wives and society ladies, but did this have any effect in the real world? Well, the fact that she's largely credited with securing her husband's position as consul-general in Egypt does perhaps suggest the power of this carefully managed image and celebrity. It seems to me that Jane worked intelligently, crafting her image and persona to the most advantage, even within the constraints of Georgian society. She was clearly a capable, clever and motivated woman. Her beauty was only a very small part of her as an individual, and she was indeed far more than a muse. I would also like to point out, though, that there are of course further discussions to be had around the issue of Jane using these cultural modes within the contexts and for the reasons that she did. As a white woman, Jane was able to use these as a powerful statement, though in many cases native Turkish and Asian people were derided for their race and nationalities at this time. It's a really important point to consider and acknowledge, especially within this context.